Hey, I just want to share everybody what I went through to try to get my CV joint out of my 2010 Acura TL. The biggest thing that I had trouble with was getting this lower ball joint out, which is this thing right here. Now you can see the rubber boot looks pretty good still. Everything looks pretty clean. I have to change the bearing, which is going. I got about 106,000 miles on it, and it's been starting to growl on me. So decided to tackle this for fun. It's not too many bolts. You got to remove this top one here, and you got to remove this one here, is a little cotter pin. And both of these, this one here and this one on top, came out pretty easily with me just banging on it. You have to bang on this part to get the top part out, and then of course the lower one, or the steering column, I believe, is right here. So beating on this and this, actually this part in here caused that top one and this bottom one to break loose pretty easily. It literally was just a few minutes. Of course, I have an impact wrench that I'm using to loosen the bolts with, which helps tremendously. But even though I get the bolts loose, getting that lower ball joint out wouldn't work. So I tried everything. Seems like now I see on YouTube everyone's using big hammers. This one here may not be big enough. I see some guys using some bigger style ones where they're actually now hitting on this part of the frame and getting this thing to break loose. Now they do that before they're loosening this or this bolt here on top. So that could have been part of why I was having trouble. But anyways, after some research, I came across this thing here. You can buy it at Harbor Freight. I can't remember, it's 20 bucks or something like that. And you can see here, you are able to slide this on even with everything in place. You slide it on from here onto it this way. Now I had to, in order to make room for this, I had to actually grind off some of the inside here on both of these sides in order to get it so that it would actually fit on there without causing impingement onto the rubber boot. So, but once that was done, once I ground on that some and smoothed that out, now I've got a custom-made tool in a sense that fits on there. And I use just a hand wrench to socket that up, and lo and behold, pop, 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 loosened up, and we were back in business after being frustrated with it for a little while trying to get it to go. So real clean, real easy, real nice to do. Of course, you have to remove this part here as well to get that, ultimately to get this CV joint out. So my CV joint is popping also. I'll be replacing that. Came out pretty easy. There is underneath here a little plastic cover. I just removed like 3 of the cover pins and was able to bend that down and then access the housing, which you can see right back there, that little gold color. You can get up underneath there, and I used this tool right here with minimal pressure to get that to loosen up. I'll just put this traditional wire cutter here as a reference for you. Again, these were bought at Harbor Freight. Not the best quality maybe necessarily, but certainly for what we're doing here, I mean, I don't know, they could be just fine, but they're inexpensive and ready to use. I saw this used on some videos. This 3/4 inch forged ball joint separator. This does not work here on an Acura TL. Just the teeth here are too small to be able to really do any real good use. I suppose it could have other applications at some point, whether it's something like this or something smaller, but for now, that was a $20 tool that will probably just be laying around for a while. So overall, ordering the parts. Oh, one more thing I want to talk about. This thing here that some of the videos don't really mention. This is your ABS sensor. It fits and you'll see it poke out through here, but you don't see it because I've already taken it out. But anyways, on the inside, this is where it fits in, okay? There's a screw, which is the shiny part, and of course the little hub right there is where that comes through and sits down in through here and rests close to this assembly here as it spins around. Now this is the sensor itself. I mean, it was just absolutely fused and rusted in there. I mean, I just could not get it to come out. So in some of the other videos it shows it, oh, just pull it out and set it up somewhere nice. But this thing was just absolutely rusted in there, or something corroded in there, and it would not ultimately come out. So pretty much destroyed. You can anticipate, this is the cable here to get it out. It attaches up here. The clip is a little bit annoying. Let's see here, I think I've got it here. This is the clip that holds it in place, and it goes in this way. So you can see here it's got this little U shape. And so if you just push this in with like a screwdriver as it's sitting in there, and then it flicks out towards you, okay? And that will prevent this thing from breaking off. I figured if I broke it off, I could always just zip tie it in place, ultimately. But I'm glad I didn't. So, being a hobbyist, I just kind of do all this stuff, save a couple bucks, do it for fun, just to see if I can do it. There's my little collection of parts and bolts. Not too much. So anyways, parts are ordered. ABS sensor, I bought it from a dealer locally. It's like 45 bucks. Probably get it cheaper online through one of the OEM parts, 30% off, so maybe you can get it for like under $40. Yeah, not too bad. Had to get a new impact. You have to get the 36 millimeter to get that outer bolt off. This bad boy right here, which holds your CV joint in place. So anyways, I hope that's helpful. Appreciate all the other props that everybody else gives out there with putting things out to help those of us. So just a little more detail. Thanks. Have a great day.